Hello, I'm Thomas Wiebernight, and this seems to be the week of the snap analysis. As well, earlier this week, Microsoft acquired Activision, and now we have, not as big, but Medallia buying Thunderhead, which is quite interesting as well. So the news is that there was a definitive agreement to sign, not to sign, it was signed, to acquire Thunderhead, which was signed by both Medallia as well as Thunderhead. The transaction is expected to be closed in Q1 22 or Q1 of the next business quarter of Medallia, which is not equal to the calendar year. The combination of Thunderhead as well as Medallia will power the ability to create individualized journeys at scale, which is quite fascinating. And combining journey orchestration with feedback and feedback data shall enable the customers to shape their product offerings, their customer journeys, and the customer experiences, of course. So far to the news. What does it mean? Where is it embedded? So the name of the game still is CX. CX is a platform game. And within this platform, the markets for real-time interaction, where Thunderhead is a player too, segmentation, CDP, journey orchestration, enterprise feedback management, and a lot of more markets they are just converging. Players can't stay on their own if they want to play big. And this market is a market to play big. So structured and unstructured customer feedback they're an important feedback component for feeding and identifying the next best part of a conversation, which is what Thunderhead does. Real-time interaction management, as well as journey orchestration, journey analytics, and journey management. Now, Thunderhead itself has been the last major independent player in the journey orchestration magic quadrants or waves, however you want to call them. They are also, and this is quite unique, a leader in the real-time interaction management market. Medallia itself got acquired by an investment company, Thoma Bravo, which was finalized in October 2021. This is probably where the funds came from to acquire a not so uninteresting, not to say highly interesting company like Thunderhead. And then Qualtrics, Medallia's biggest competitor in their market, recently acquired journey orchestration company UserMind, which might have forced a little bit of their hand. Looking into Forrester's most recent wave on journey orchestration, we see that there are not many independent companies left. We have Kitewheel that got to CSG. We have Pointillist that recently went to Genesis. We have UserMind that went to Qualtrics. And now we have Thunderhead that gets acquired by Medallia. Then we have a couple of other specialists like Incuba, Brighter, or Ruju, which are VC funded. So still specialists and independent. But if you're looking at the size of the bubbles, they are not that big of a player. Then we have EngageHub, Coveo, and Alterian. These are playing in the journey orchestration market as well, but they are far from being specialists only. So they have a wider footprint, which is needed to float, to swim. First things first, big congrats to the Thunderhead team. So I'm following the company for 5-6 years now, and what I've seen is nothing short of amazing. So they are doing a great job. It's a great one, is a great product. Thunderhead itself had and has a series of quite strategic partnerships, starting with Microsoft, then with Salesforce, now with SAP. It will be interesting what's happening to that, especially as SAP is a majority stakeholder in Qualtrics, which is the competitor of Medallia. Medallia itself, they now own a jewel. It might even become their crown jewel, probably should. It is the company with the strongest orchestration and journey analytical company capabilities around. And if we now combine this with the ability of direct and indirect customer feedback that Medallia already has, then we get something that is quite interesting. I'm not surprised about Thunderhead being acquired. I mean, they are a fairly small player by numbers. But by who did it? I would have expected a somewhat bigger company getting there first, right? They are swimming in the CX pond, as we said, along with some very large fish. One could say sharks. They are privately owned, Thunderhead, by founder Glenn Manchester. So this is probably somewhat limiting the ability to grow fast in terms of go-to-market, in terms of product development. So the hope here is that, for me at least, and for quite some other people probably too, is that this acquisition now will help Thunderhead grow their product even stronger. On the other hand, there are people saying that it takes quite some years for the rest of the companies, for the rest of the pack to just catch up with it. Now, as I already said, both of them are swimming in a big pond, Medallia as well. So this probably also somewhat forced Medallia's hand, especially as I just said, Qualtrics acquired Usermind just half a year ago or so. And then for Medallia itself, they had their roots in enterprise feedback management, and they need to get out of that corner if they want to play with the big boys, similar to, admittedly, a bit larger Genesys, who came out of the call center area and just bought a journey orchestration company as well in order to bolster their CX capabilities. So it will be quite interesting to see what's happening now, especially to the remaining companies that are still VC funded. And yes, that's it for today. Thanks for your interest, and see you soon for the next Snap analysis.